set to approve higher salaries for top leaders at City Hall. Plus, the cost of crime in Baltimore, what you're being forced to pay for amid the city's out-of-control gun violence. A new study shows residents are spending thousands of dollars each year as a result of crime.
The findings come during an end-of-year surge in violence. Since Saturday, the city has seen 9 homicides. 11 others were hurt in shootings.
We have team coverage tonight of a city in crisis. Let's begin with Keith Daniels and that new study about the financial impact of Baltimore's crime problem. Keith?
Well, Maxine, researchers say crime statistics from across the country were among the data used in this study. They found what they consider to be the most dangerous and safest cities in the U.S. and tonight, the cost of crime. In Baltimore City, calculating the cost of crime.
We feel it every single day.
A new study this month from the online financial service company Moneygeek.
Just in general, per capita means per person.
Puts an estimated price tag on violence in over 300 cities across the United States. Researchers calling crime costly to individual victims and communities. According to the study, crime cost the people of Baltimore just over $8,000 per capita annually. Money spent on things like medical and mental health care needs of victims and police and corrections costs. The study also puts Baltimore at number 2 among the 15 most dangerous cities in the country. Jesse Bruin, a professor of education and economics at Brown University, participated in the study.
They asked me questions like, what does it mean for a community to be safe?
Bruin says numbers and studies like this one matter.
So if you want to have a real conversation around where to best allocate our, government dollars to achieve the best outcomes in terms of crime and safety, you need high quality empirical work to sort of get after that.
But what about doing something to reduce the violence? Baltimore City Councilman Zeke Cohen.
We have got to stem the tide.
Sits on the council's public safety committee. He agrees the study is bleak, but insists he and other lawmakers are doing something about crime, including encouraging the new administration to implement the Healing City Act, legislation passed in February that addresses trauma, which he says strickens many of the city's young people.
We know that there is a direct correlation between trauma and violence. Trauma fuels violence, and violence further perpetuates trauma.
The cost of crime in a city in crisis. Well, the study shows Arlington, Virginia as the safest city, with crime costs at about $132 per capita, and St. Louis, Missouri as the most dangerous city, with the crime cost at more than $9,000 per capita.
Top elected leaders are set to get a pay raise in 2021. At the same time, Baltimore is battling crime and experiencing financial struggles from the pandemic.
Our Dan Leporello is live tonight with how much they're getting and why some say it's a bad look. Dan?
Well, those pay increases were barely discussed during today's Board of Estimates meeting. And while they are set by law, some are questioning tonight if that law should be changed, especially amid these trying financial times for our city.
A budget shortfall and struggling economy have left Baltimore City leaders looking to cut costs. But one thing they're not cutting is their own salaries.
It's shocking that any elected official would take a pay raise during a pandemic.
17 city leaders, from the mayor down to every city councilor, will see a 2.5% bump in pay starting next month, most of whom were just sworn in.
When you start a new job, you don't get a big raise day one.
Political analyst John Deedy believes our elected leaders should show more fiscal responsibility amid the current climate.
There's not going to be a huge revenue stream coming into Baltimore. So spending all this money now may not be very effective in 6 months when you have a situation where the city's not getting enough revenue.
The raises are technically written into the law, which provides pay increases for elected officials if at least one of the city's employee unions also receive one, which happened earlier this year.
Adjusting the salary of the mayor effective January 1, 2021.
At today's Board of Estimates meeting, Mayor Brandon Scott, City Council President Nick Mosby, and Comptroller Bill Henry all abstained from discussion on their salary increases to avoid any conflict of interest. But the mayor told Fox 45 News last night the increase should stand because it's what the law calls for.
So to say that it's written in the law is an excuse, and it's a really bad excuse.
David Williams is with the Taxpayers Protection Alliance and believes those eligible for the raises have an obligation to turn them down.
Leadership is about sacrifice. And what all leaders in Baltimore need to do right now is sacrifice and not take these pay raises.
Well, as of tonight, we know that at least one city council person is going to be donating that money towards charity. Councilman Isaac Yitzi-Slifer says he's going to be giving the money towards organizations that are on the front line of the COVID-19 pandemic. As for the other 13 city councilors, we reached out to all of them. We've yet to hear back.
The fight continues over the legality of government-mandated restaurant closures in Maryland. Legal fights are underway in Anne Arundel County, Baltimore City, Montgomery County, and also Prince George's County. Each of these jurisdictions has imposed tougher COVID restrictions than Governor Larry Hogan's statewide mandates. Amy Simpson is live right now in Anne Arundel County with the lawsuit that's still going on there. Amy, what's happening today?
Kai, the man behind the lawsuit here in Anne Arundel County, tells me he's feeling confident as he prepares for the next hearing in that fight coming up on Monday in Anne Arundel County. He says that the data and the scientific evidence is just not there, that restaurants are the source of the problem.
Fighting to keep restaurants open.
This is not, nor has it ever been, a political fight for us. This is a fight for survival.
Today, the newly formed Maryland Restaurant Coalition speaking candidly about the legal battle to keep restaurants open in Anne Arundel County, where the county executive says restaurants are a major contributor to the spread of the virus.
And we have been asked to take the brunt of the restrictions and closures in the name of public health, with little or no data or science to back that up.
James King of Titan Hospitality Group is the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit against Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman and the executive order to close restaurants for indoor and outdoor dining.
It was a long shot going into this. There's been no precedent on a case like this.
Last week, a judge granted that temporary restraining order.
As we've dug in and really looked at the data and the stats even more, we feel even more and more encouraged for our hearing on the 28th.
But the legal fight continues. Another hearing is set for Monday.
We have experts lined up that will testify at our hearing.
Restaurants in Anne Arundel feel like their future is in the hands of the judge.
It's a fight for our survival, quite frankly, and we're excited to get in front of the judge, but ultimately that's an important day for us because that single day will decide the livelihoods of thousands of residents in Anne Arundel County.
These small businesses say they want to be open, and they want to do it safely.
We want to see the balance, and we think there can be a balance. We think 50% capacity accomplishes enough revenue for restaurant owners to survive, but at the same time, keeping our patrons safe.
And the man behind this lawsuit here in Anne Arundel County actually tells me he's been contacted by several people in several other states, people who are interested in filing similar lawsuits for restaurants in other parts of the country.